29th Annual Honors Day. It's so nice to see all of you. Tonight, we're here to celebrate the amazing research and creative endeavors of our students. But of course, by doing so, we are also celebrating the remarkable work of our faculty and staff. Please join me in thanking the faculty for all they do to teach and inspire. Also join me in thanking the staff for all they've done to make these achievements possible. Our Honors Day celebration focuses specifically on departmental and program prizes. It allows us to celebrate our students' talent and hard work and to share in the pride of their achievements. At a luncheon earlier today, we honored students selected to receive awards that recognize their leadership, character, and personal achievements. The leadership awards presented were the Franklin Delano Roosevelt Cup, Bao Bao Nguyen, class of 2027. Michael Francis Michike III Award, Jane McCarter, class of 2025. The Andrew Allison Haldane Cup, Janet Briggs, class of 2025. And the President's Award, Ruth Olajabi, class of 2025. Earlier today, we also celebrated the 4 students selected as speakers for the commencement and baccalaureate ceremonies. The commencement prizes were presented to the following graduating seniors. The Goodwin Commencement Prize, Weatherspoon. Class of 1868 prize, Karina Lim Wong. The De Alva Stanwood Alexander First Prize, Isabella Wong. And the De Alva Stanwood Alexander Second Prize, Noah Zauderreich. Any of those 8 students are here tonight. Will you please stand so we can give you another round of applause? And now I would like to invite Dean Jen Scanlon to introduce tonight's keynote speaker.
It is my pleasure to introduce this evening's keynote speaker, Samia Rahimtullah, Assistant Professor of English and recipient of the 2024 Sidney B. Karofsky Award for Junior Faculty. Professor Rahimtullah is a scholar of modern American literature and culture. Her research focuses on literary engagements with environmentalism, imperialism, and gender and sexuality. Her most recent research involves literary and social practices that propose alternatives to dominant environmental paradigms, particularly those grounded in rugged individualism, crisis and apocalyptic discourse, and the instrumentalization of nature as a resource or service. Her book manuscript, Poetry in the Age of Sustainability, Race, Nation, and Nature on Spaceship Earth, is under contract with the University of Iowa's Contemporary North American Poetry Series and is to be published next spring. This semester, she taught the courses American Literature during the Cold War and Eco-Poetics, Poetry and the Environment. Professor Rahimtoola arrived at Bowdoin in 2016 on the heels of earning her doctorate in English at the University of California, Berkeley. She earned her bachelor's degree in English at Reed College. She says her talk this evening, The Other Walden, emerges from her many years of reading and teaching Henry David Thoreau. Please join me in welcoming Assistant Professor of English, Samia Rahimtoola.
Thank you for that introduction. It's lovely. President Zaki, Dean Scanlon, esteemed colleagues, and students and families, I am so very honored to have the opportunity to speak with you today. The title of my talk is The Other Walden. In it, I hope to shift our understanding of Walden from a pond just outside Concord, Massachusetts, into an emblem of the free, spirited, and engaged inquiry that you have devoted yourself to here at Bowdoin. As we come together to celebrate your accomplishments, I would like us to reflect on that education and how each of you will find ways to put it into practice long after you have graduated. As many of you know, I'm a literary scholar. One of the reasons I love to read is that when we open a book, the world we live in comes to seem less fixed and more open to change. As the Black lesbian poet Audre Lorde tells us in her essay, "Poetry is not a luxury." Poetry is not only dream and vision, it is the skeleton architecture of our lives. It lays the foundation for a future of change, a bridge across our fears of what has never been before. Each of us is a poet when we lay the imaginative groundwork for the world we would like to bring about. Each of us is a poet when we enter the unknown, guided by the reservoir of creativity we hold within. Poetry, Lorde tells us, is not something we make time for later, after all our other needs are met. It is a survival skill, a way of moving from where we are to where we want to be. Let me tell you one story about building such an architecture. Thoreau moved into his unfinished cabin on Walden Pond on July 4th, 1845. He chose the day, he tells us, by accident, an unintentional grounding of his own personal Declaration of Independence in America's revolutionary history. We should not believe him. In 1845, the country was in tumult. Pro- and anti-slavery factions fought over the annexation of Texas, a slave-owning state whose admission into the Union would all but guarantee the legal persistence of slavery. Annexation also meant war with Mexico, and in the year that Thoreau moved to Walden, the pro-annexation, pro-slavery candidate James Polk had just won the presidential ticket. On the very day he carted his books, his writing desk, and a few pieces of furniture from his family home in Concord to his cabin, Texas legislatures were signing off on annexation. How are we to understand this move? One can, of course, criticize Thoreau for turning his back on these political debates and escaping to Walden. How can one choose the life of the mind in a time that seems to demand rapid action? When everything in the world is in crisis, how can one take the time to watch loons and squirrels and study ancient Hindu scripture as Thoreau did? Isn't this selfish? I suspect many of you can relate to these questions. How often have you found yourself lost in classes as the world burns and its sirens seem to scream out for your attention. How often have you wondered whether reflecting on the world is a pleasure we can no longer afford? These are the very questions that haunted Thoreau when he set out for Walden, with the famous words, "I went to the woods because I wish to live deliberately." Notice how he fuses thought and action, theory and practice, life and the mind into a single activity. I want to suggest to you tonight that Thoreau's retreat is not about leaving society, but rather about carving out a space for contemplation within it. It is about building a new architecture for a new way of life, one that won't end in war and slavery. Many of us like to imagine that Thoreau built his cabin further out in the woods than he did. But when he looked out on the horizon, he could see the outline of the village where friends and family went about their lives. His cabin walls had wide chinks through which the wind blew and the sounds of woodcutters and songbirds drifted. The windows and doors were unpaned and unlocked, and friends often made a date of a trip to a cabin. One passerby, he tells us, even inspected his sheets while he was out on a walk. She found them less clean than they ought to have been. Walden, he is trying to tell us, cannot be separated from the world it is in dialogue with. When I teach Walden, I ask students to leave the classroom, spread out across campus, and return with a map of where they think Thoreau would build his cabin, where he is student at Bowdoin today. Some students find a spot next to busy Bath Road where they hear the passing cars announcing the world's affairs, just as Thoreau was reminded of them by passing trains. Others find their Walden in Smith Union. Still others hear it in the very idea of a small liberal arts college where we not only learn the skills required to make a living, but also deliberate and practice the ideals according to which we will live our lives. The goal we come to understand is not a sanctuary outside of society, but rather a space of temporary retreat that fortifies further engagement. To be in Walden is to insist on a space of moral and intellectual freedom, but it is also to keep the town forever in our sight. These days, it's hard to ignore the fact that colleges and universities across the country have come under fire. Every day, students, professors, and staff wake up and renew our devotion to the very educational enterprise that is being constructed as a threat rather than as a strength of this country. We hold discussions, go to rehearsals, work as research assistants in laboratories, knowing that our laboratories are on the brink of losing funding. Knowing that our peers are afraid to speak freely because their visas may be revoked. Knowing that our faculty risk losing their employment because their fields of study have been deemed hostile to the national interest. We are learning how very fortunate we are to hold these spaces together. We who can exercise our freedoms must, and we must help make this campus and all campuses into places where students, faculty, and staff do not live under fear. And when I say fear, I mean real fear. The fear of being arrested, expelled, fired, and deported, all of which we have witnessed on campuses around the country. As we gather to celebrate your incredible achievements today, we are also affirming the value of the education that helped you arrive at this moment. When I was asked to give this talk, I knew immediately that I would speak about Walden. It's my favorite book. I hoped to invite you to consider the way that what you have experienced at Bowdoin will remain a vital complement to the quote-unquote real world that lies ahead. When Thoreau left his cabin, he described himself as a sojourner, a temporary resident in civilized life again. In In doing so, he claimed that the intellectual and moral practices he refined at Walden would remain available to him, as they will for you, long after he left. My hope is that each of you will permit yourself what can so often be dismissed as a luxury, but is, in fact, a necessity. As we have seen, swift, unthinking actions can inflict tremendous suffering on workers, families, students, immigrants, and the environment. In such a climate, deliberation itself is transgressive. I hope you will indulge me with one last story about Thoreau. One July afternoon, as he set out from his cabin, Thoreau crossed paths with the town tax collector. He was promptly arrested for refusing to pay taxes to a government that launched an unjust war in order to keep 1/6 of the population in slavery. Thoreau had built his cabin to be open to the world. Now he was imprisoned in Concord Jail behind an iron door and walls of stone. Despite this radical change in circumstance, he once again argued that this removal gave him a better vantage on the world. It was like, he wrote, traveling into a far country, such as I had never expected to behold, to lie there for one night. It seemed to me that I had never heard the town clock strike before, nor the evening sounds of the village. I began to comprehend what its inhabitants were about. We cannot, Thoreau tells us, understand our society without grappling with what it excludes and represses. It might seem strange to you that I am ending my talk on this day of celebration by landing us, at least metaphorically, in prison. I do so to emphasize the transgressiveness of thought, the real danger it poses to the structures and systems that so often pass as a brute fact of our world. To call such thinking free is not only to emphasize its independence, but also to stress the ways it is what the theorist and educator Bell Hooks called a practice of freedom, a practice that moves us towards a more just world. As we gather today to celebrate your accomplishments, I invite you also to honor the capacity each and every one of you holds in your hands to build a new architecture for our lives. Thank you.
Thank you so much for such a rich talk. The Sidney B. Karofsky Award for Junior Faculty, you just heard from our most recent recipient, is given by members of the Karofsky family and awarded annually by the Dean for Academic Affairs in consultation with the Committee on Appointments, Promotions, and Tenure. And we make that decision on the basis of student evaluations of teaching and provide this award to an outstanding Bowdoin teacher who, quote, best demonstrates the ability to impart knowledge, inspire enthusiasm, and stimulate intellectual curiosity. The prize is given to a member of the faculty who has taught at the college for at least 2 years. I am very pleased to announce that the 2025 recipient of the Sidney B. Karofsky Award for Junior Faculty is John Kim, Assistant Professor of Asian Studies. 26 to the stage to perform this evening's interlude, Pastoral, by Nikolai Kaspuzin. Departmental prizes, beginning with Africana Studies. We ask that student recipients for each department come to the stage at the same time as the department's faculty presenter. Descriptions of all prizes and their order are in the program, so I encourage you to follow along. Presenters may elect to say a few words about their award recipients.
Africana Studies is extremely proud of these two students. Caitlin Elizabeth Weiss will receive the Lennox Book Prize through a fund established by the Lennox Foundation and Jeffrey C. Norris, class of '86. This book prize is awarded to a student exhibiting outstanding achievement in Africana Studies. That is Caitlin. Every class Caitlin has taken was at 100%, enriching all the learning of the students and the professors. I can attest to that. I taught Caitlin her first semester, and I'm teaching her last semester, and it's been an absolute joy. Whatever you do and wherever you go, Africana Studies will be with you, and thank you for all your work. The The second prize goes to Gabrielle Nicole Waller-Whalen. It's the annual award for outstanding work in Africana Studies established by Professor Randy Stakman, former longtime Director of Africana Studies and Faculty Emerita. For an outstanding work in Africana Studies determined by the department, Gabrielle will defend her honors project a week from today. It's truly an outstanding work of scholarship that, in the best tradition of Africana Studies, holds up a mirror to its subject, which is Bowdoin College, asks uncomfortable questions, and leaves the reader and the listener more aware and more enlivened to what is possible and what is good. So thank you for your scholarship, and thank you both.
Hi, everyone. It's truly a pleasure to be here with all of you and to honor these wonderful students, all of them anthropology majors and minors who've distinguished themselves not only in their coursework, but also in ways that they've integrated their learning and exploration in anthropology with reflection on their personal experiences and their advocacy for individuals. So the first four students are here to receive the award for engaged anthropology. This award in anthropology is based not only on the work that they do, usually over several years with different community organizations, but also on essays that they write where they explain how it is that their coursework and the work they do in public advocacy and community service align with how they integrate all that together. So the Elizabeth Gill was, for example, deeply engaged in advocacy and community service with Midcoast Senior Living and with Milestone Recovery, and reflected deeply on issues related to elder care, housing insecurity, and addiction and recovery. Lori Asashian has, over the course of her Bowdoin career, integrated exploration of her personal experience as someone who has grown up speaking multiple languages with her coursework in anthropology and education, and her work in the community with elementary school students through multilingual Mainers. Ruby Pollack has volunteered and interned with Art Band over many years and has integrated that public-facing work with children who are often in difficult situations with independent study courses that included not only reading scholarly literature, but also conducting interviews with art therapists throughout the Midcoast region. And Aidan Mikolau has been a peer educator in the Office of Gender Violence and Prevention and Health Education, has volunteered with the Needle Exchange Program in Portland and for Midcoast Hunger Prevention. His advocacy work was a jumping off point for an honors project based around exploring how primary care practitioners in Maine understand their roles in sexual violence prevention. The second prize that I'm going to be presenting tonight is the Elbridge Sibley Anthropology Prize, and that goes to Anya Workman. So this is a prize that honors each year the member of the senior class in anthropology with the highest mid-year overall GPA. That means that the award recognizes Anya's academic excellence across all of her Bowdoin courses, not just those in anthropology. And Anya is a DCS and anthro major, and her insightfulness and her intellectual curiosity that allows her to pull ideas from different disciplines and her willingness to try new things make her stand out to the professors who've had her in classes. So thanks very much, you guys. You've made teaching her really spectacular.
evening, everybody. I'm Peggy Wong, the Chair of Art History. It is my great honor to present the Ann Bartlett Lewis Memorial Prize in Art History to Julia Jones Smart. This year's Art History Senior Prize goes to Zoe Sierra Peterson. I am so delighted to present Art History's Junior Prize to Mariana Sofia Zumdone, who is in absentia, Andrew Tran, and Isabel Rivera Gendrum.
Good evening, I'm Jackie Brown, Chair of Visual Arts, and I've had the great honor of working closely with both of these students this year, and I can attest to their commitment to creative inquiry and to the caliber of their work, and I'm delighted to present Cora Baxter with the Ann Bartlett Lewis Memorial Prize in Visual Arts, and I'm delighted to present Philip Spiro with the Richard P. Martell Jr. Memorial Prize in Visual Arts. Congratulations, Cora.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Rachel Sturman. I'm the director of the Asian Studies program. Tonight, it is my honor to present the Asian Studies Prize to Owen Jian Ratcliffe. This year's Chinese Language Prize goes to Yeren Han Wallenberger. Finally, this year's Japanese Language Prize goes to Tenegan Blakely Johnson.
Good evening. I'm Ben Gorski, the director of the biochemistry program. Biochemistry awards only 2 prizes. If you're curious why I say it that way, just wait a few minutes when I'll be returning to present the chemistry awards. Biochemistry has a prize for outstanding junior majors, and this year that award is shared by 2 people. Starting with Juyan Lee, affectionately known as Juju. and also Divya Bhargav. And our senior prize, the Stephen Smith Prize, goes to Esteban Tarazona Guzman.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Hadley Horch. I am the chair of the biology department, and I'm here to give out our awards. The Copeland Gross Prize is our liberal arts award. So our 3 students have distinguished themselves through their excellent scholarship, both in biology and across other disciplines as well. So Ryan Kong. For the Copeland Gross is Diego de Souza. And finally, Gracie Shepard. We also give out the Maycomber Prize, and this goes to the most outstanding students within the Department of Biology. Our 2 nominees have distinguished themselves by their excellent work in the biological sciences. So Kara Fields is our first. And the second Maycomber goes to Oscar Knight. Then finally, I have the Moulton Prize to give out. So this is awarded annually to outstanding juniors who are major in biology, and we judge them by their scholarship and their interest in biology. So I think Ben Sachs is in absentia, so congratulations, Ben. Ella Perry. And Tori McCall. Thank you, everyone.
Good evening once again. Long time no see. I'm Ben Gorski, Director of the Biochemistry Program and also Associate Professor in Chemistry. So I'm going to be presenting the Chemistry Awards. So starting with the first year Student Chemistry Laboratory Award. This award is jointly awarded this year to Sean Lasute and Sophie McDevitt. The first year Student Chemistry Achievement Award is awarded to Shawana Lynn and Alana Jenkins. I lost my spot. Oh, here we are. The Samuel Camerling Laboratory Award goes to Sarah Peterson. The Philip Weston Reserve Prize in Chemistry goes to Ella Chu. Then we have some American Chemical Society Awards for superior work in chemistry. The Analytical Chemistry Award goes to Samantha Kiegler, who I believe might be in absentia. The Inorganic Chemistry Award goes to Sinan Tuncer. The Physical Chemistry Award goes to Reese Edwards. And finally, the Organic Chemistry Award goes to Liam Rohr. Liam barely made it here in time for an interview, so. All right, the Dana Walker Mayo Prize goes to Claire Stoddard. And finally, the William Campbell Root Award goes to Liam Rohr again.
I'm Tricia Welch, Director of the Cinema Studies program at Bowdoin, and I'm delighted to welcome the program's 2 prize winners for 2025 to the stage tonight. Sanvi Shurchan is this year's recipient of the Rosebud Prize in recognition of her essay on the challenges explored in the Hollywood social problem film of the late 1950s. Sanvi's excellent essay considers how the classic melodrama Imitation of Life addresses issues of race while also making racism entertaining. We call it show business, not show art, right? And Adepoju Orangadade takes home this year's Sunrise Prize for a remarkable essay on 3 films made by indigenous people in Hawaii and 7 different Pacific countries. His work considers how in these films, camera movement and sound design offer new and underexplored perspectives or storytelling from the inside. Now, before we clap for them, Adepoju's folks are watching from Springfield, Illinois, and Sanvi's are tuned in from the Bronx. So I want to recognize them too. Yamisi and Dapo, Mumtaz Sanjeev, thank you for sharing your very talented family members with us here at Bowdoin. Their fans and cinema studies send you greetings from Maine.
I'm Jennifer Kosak, Chair of the Classics Department, and I am delighted to welcome study and think so hard every day. All of them I think not. Okay, I could also, well, you'll see. The first award is the Nathan Gould Prize to the senior who has attained the highest standing in Greek and Latin. Patrick just got in on Latin this semester, but his Greek is amazing. So we're very proud of Patrick. Thank you very much. Patrick also spent his entire junior year in Greece, so yay for him. Then we have the J.B. Sewell Reek Prize. We are splitting that between our two amazing sophomores, Ari Bolton and Claire Crawford, both of whom I can attest, having sat in on their Plato class, are amazing Platonists. So congratulations to you both. Also, a long list of other languages that she knows. So we're just awarding it for Latin, but we could discuss all the other excellence of your other languages. You're pretty amazing Latin, so we'll give you this one. We have another Latin prize, this one for our junior or senior, and the Hannibal Hamlin Emery Prize. You can tell this one's been around for a long time. It's a fabulous name. And this year it awarded to our wonderful junior, Gabby Sennett. We also are awarding this evening two prizes for the Jasper Jacob Stahl Fellowship for the study of Mediterranean antiquity. These two students will be traveling to Greece this summer for study abroad. So Ari Bolton, again, she will be learning Greek in Greece. Alima Jallo is going to be traveling to Crete, to Athens, to the Peloponnese, to study mythology. It's going to be wonderful. We also have one prize. This is actually a prize that comes around to our department this year. It's awarded in absentia to Patrick Sullivan, the Collins Prize. This is largely administered by the library. I would like to point out that it's given to, we decided on Patrick as a great bibliophile, and he got to choose a book, and he chose Heidegger's Heraclitus Seminar. So that's right here.
Everyone, my name is Laura Toma. I'm chair of computer science, and it's a great pleasure to award the computer science prizes tonight. The senior year prize goes to the seniors who have achieved the highest distinction in the major through their coursework, GPA, research, and service. And this year it goes to 4 students. Tom Han. Research, and this year it goes to Mindy Kang and Evan Luca.
I'm Michelle Levine, Chair of the Earth and Oceanographic Science Department, and I am thrilled to recognize these amazing students for their work and contributions in our department this year. First, the Earth and Oceanographic Science Senior Academic Achievement Award is honoring 2 remarkable EOS seniors. Emma Barker, your strength and creativity as a scientist has stood out to all of us in EOS. You consistently go above and beyond with your exceptional work and your enthusiasm for knowledge, which is a true inspiration to the department's faculty, staff, and students. And also, we have Henry Zuko. Henry, the department has been absolutely blown away by your work in EOS. You have demonstrated a creative application of knowledge across different Earth system spheres, and you have an unwavering growth mindset, seizing every opportunity to learn, both inside and outside of the classroom. We feel incredibly lucky that you transferred to Bowdoin and chose EOS. Okay, next, the Earth and Oceanographic Science Biogeochemistry Award honors Hayden Mann and Taylor Wilkinson for your outstanding performance in the course Biogeochemistry and your impressive ability to connect biogeochemistry to the broader context of the Earth system. Congratulations. This year's Earth and Oceanographic Science Outreach Excellent Awards goes to Tess Mooney. Tess, your co-curation of the Kent Island Art Exhibit in Rue is an outstanding public engagement project, and you're an example of an EOS major bringing science beyond traditional disciplinary boundaries, which your peers recognized by nominating you for this award. Congratulations. Oceanographic Science Book Award honors 2 exceptional students for their work in our introductory courses. Sol Eisenweiss in Absentia for impressive work in introducing Earth, and Lily Watts for your remarkable work in oceanography. And finally, the department is awarding awarding the Earth and Oceanographic Science Service to the Department Award to 2 students. First, John Del Norris for being a key member of the EOS community as a standout peer educator in your role as a learning assistant and volunteering to lead a number of community events. And Inga Dovry in absentia for her generosity and commitment to building the EOS community, both inside and outside of our department. Congrats, everyone.
Hi there, I'm Dan Stone, Chair of the Econ Department. I'm going to keep this economical and just give out the prizes, no extra comments. So five juniors are receiving the Adam Smith Book Prize. First, in absentia, Subi Kalra. Chris Opiero. Next, in absentia, Nico Fortier. Elizabeth Walsh. And last, Brando Izquierdo. And we have 4 juniors receiving the Paul Douglas Prize. We give it our senior awards later, by the way. Athalia, first Athalia Esty in absentia. Tyler Blank. Next, Ethan Danielson. And last, in absentia, Kylie Keaton. Bravo. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Dora Santoro, and I'm Chair of the Education Department. The Education Department gives out 2 awards. The first is to the Bowdoin Teacher Scholars, and I was reminded tonight of a book called Teaching While the World is on Fire. And these folks chose to walk in towards the fire, and they are... they will be certified teachers in just a few weeks. So I'll introduce them. The first is Hillary Castro, is a social studies teacher. Cameron Coffey is a physical science teacher. Cora Dow is a social studies teacher. Shoshi Gordon is an English teacher. Sienna Harrigan is a French teacher. awards this year for interdisciplinary scholarship. The first is for wellness practices and education, so the study combining a number of disciplines, and this goes to Sapphire Hall. The next is for mental health education, combining psychology and education, and that goes to Yaron Wallenberger. And for translating research on invasive crabs into an accessible book is Louisa Wolcott-Breen. I am Maggie Solberg. I'm here representing the English department. We have a number of awards to give out, so I will get started. First, the Philip Henry Brown Prize, which is for excellence in extemporaneous composition, goes to Jian Sun. The Academy of American Poets Colette Inez Poetry Prize goes to 2 students this year. First, Eileen Woods, class of 2026, for her poem entitled Eurydice Looks Back. And second to Isabella Wong, class of 2025, for her poem entitled Hitchhiking in the Snow. Hawthorne Prize, which is awarded each year to the author of the best short story, goes to Malia Viju, class of 2027, for her short story titled No Hard Feelings. The Natalie Walker Llewellyn Poetry Prize goes to Jack Twining, class of 2027, for The Bluebird. The Nonfiction Prize, which is self-explanatory, goes to Carolina Weatherall, class of 2025, for her essay entitled Partita for Readers. The Poetry Prize goes to Alana Scheinkoff, class of 2025, for her poem titled Namesake. The Prey Prize for an original composition of scholarship goes to 2 students this year. First, Sophie Yuk, class of 2025, for her work on Korean American fiction. And second to Emma Kilbride, class of 2025, for her work on James Joyce. The Forbes Ricard Jr. Memorial Poetry Prize goes to Ella Everett Riccio, class of 2025, for her poem titled Lux Perpetua. The David Sewell Premium, which is awarded to a member of the first-year class for excellence in English composition, goes to Rehana Parnia, class of 2028, for her essay on vampires. The Mary B. Sickinson Short Story Prize goes to Maya Lay, class of 2025, for her piece titled Fishwater. And the Bertram Lewis Smith
Smith Junior Prize, which is awarded to a member of the junior class for excellent work in English coursework, goes to Grace Raymond, who is in absentia. And lastly, we have an honorable mention for the David Sewell Premium, and that goes to Camilla White.
Hi, my name is Anthony Klingel, and I'm Director of the Environmental Studies Program. And because we come after English, this means we're now about halfway through the program, sadly. So you can keep that track in your programs. I'm honored to present 2 awards this evening on behalf of the Environmental Studies Program. The first is the Academic Award, which recognizes excellence in the Environmental Studies Coordinate Major. Because environmental studies, like JELA from my home state of Utah, goes with everything, it's a coordinate major. It means that often excellence in the ES means excellence in the other major, which we've seen tonight. The 2 recipients are Emma Rusnick Barker and Owen Shin Ratliff. The second award that Environmental Studies gives is a Community Service Award. It's fitting that a program that just celebrated its 50th anniversary has always seen community service as part of its literal DNA. And the Community Service Award is one of the most rewarding to give, not that the academic one isn't, but that what it is that people nominate recipients. And we read nominations from community members, from peers, from faculty, from staff. And this year, the 3 recipients were no exception. The nominations moved the Environmental Studies core faculty greatly. And the 3 recipients are Ashwini Sashasru Bude, Violet Lynn Apadoka, and Mia Juliet Schwartz.
Hello everyone, I'm Angel Matas and I'm representing Gender, Sexuality, and Women's Studies. This year, we are delighted to honor a truly outstanding student in our program, Quran Tran. Her dedication has shined through in her class engagement, her assistance in GSWS events, and her crucial role as a learning assistant for various GSWS courses. Quran, your commitment and intellect embody the spirit of the Edith Lansing Kuhn Sills Prize in Gender, Sexuality, and Women's Studies. Congratulations.
Michelle Smith in the Department of German. The German department's prize winners exemplify the liberal arts in their combined study of German language, literature, and culture with earth and oceanographic science, education, English, mathematics, music, and philosophy. 2 of them began their formal study of German in their first semester at Bowdoin and became majors or minors. Started with me, I'm very proud. While the other 2 placed into advanced, intermediate, or upper-level seminars right from the start.
All of them spent a semester abroad in Germany or Austria, with Freiburg being the university city of choice for 3 out of 4 of them. You'll see me hand them very slim envelopes, don't despair, because before they leave for the summer, they will get a nice individualized stack of books. Summer reading, very important. Consular Prize in Literary Interpretation goes to someone who's already been up on stage this evening. I'm going to say her name in the German pronunciation, Caroline Weatherall. Carolina is here winning another prize for her ability to bring literary and musical structures together with a beautiful analysis of the poetry of Maya Ayim, its evocation of the blues and contemporary spoken word performance. Our Old Broadway Prize in Reading Comprehension and Translation goes to 3 winners every year, and all 3 winners of this year's prize are currently in an upper-level seminar with me where they have co-curated and taught an entire session of class with poise and ease. With their careful reading, they make my job easy by picking the most complex and intriguing passages, the ones I had usually flagged in my preparation, and discuss them with their peers. So those 3 are, first, our talented trombonist and member of the curling team, Miles Benson, who plans to be a music teacher, and those kids who will get to learn from him in a couple years are so lucky. So, Miles. Our resident philosopher and a cappella singer, Shep Solomini. The student who told me I could not pronounce his name in the German pronunciation, and I respect that. Every once in a while we have minors who are basically majors, and he's one of them. So, Benjamin Weintraub.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Henry Lawrence. I'm chair of the Government and Legal Studies Department. And on behalf of my colleagues and I, we would say we are deeply, deeply proud of our students standing here today. We have 4 subfields in the department, and we give prizes for excellence in coursework, thesis writing, and generally being good eggs all around. The first one is for American politics. Kelly Stevenson. For comparative politics, it's a particular pleasure for me to introduce Ari Bursch. In international relations, 2 scholars, Fiona Ball and Evan Chapman. And for political theory, Jack Andrews. We also give a prize, the Richard E. Morgan Prize for Excellence in the Study of the Constitution, named after a beloved former colleague, and the prize this year goes to Caitlin Weiss.
I'm Megan Roberts. I'm the chair of the History Department. It's my great privilege tonight to honor these 6 excellent students. I have 2 prizes to award. The first is the Dr. Samuel and Rose Bernstein Prize for Excellence in the Study of History, and it recognizes students who have demonstrated exceptional promise in a history class during their first 2 years at the college. We have 3 winners tonight. They are Sharika Sultana, Ephraim Tutu, and Shay McGrath. The second prize is the Phyllis Marshall Watson History Prize, which recognizes the best student paper on subjects related to the American Civil War era or on war-related themes in modern history. And again, we have 3 winners. They are Grace Campbell, James Lucy, and Brittany Hewitt. Congratulations to all of you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Krista Van Vliet, Chair of the Department of Anthropology and a member of the Latin American, Caribbean, and Latinx Studies program. And it's my honor to be able to present 2 awards tonight for 2 incredible students. The first award is the John Harold Turner Prize in Latin American Studies, and this prize is awarded to a graduating senior who, in the judgment of the Latin American Studies faculty, has achieved academic distinction. And tonight we'd like to congratulate Annika Holliday. The second prize is the Latin American Studies Award for Public Engagement, and this time the prize is shared by Anna Halliday and Alexandra Camargo Mogrial.
Hi, I'm Chris Chong from the Math Department. We have 4 prizes to announce today. The first prize is the Devoted Math Prize. It will be awarded to Liliana Restrepo, Juan Carlos Villa, and Janelle Powell. The next prize is the Edward Sanford Hammond Mathematics Prize. And the awardees are David Wan, Vishali Mirigala, Abby Chris, and Zachary Cheeseman. Smythe Prize, who will be awarded to Janelle Powell, Nico Conway, and Trevin Maycomber. Okay, the last one is a 100 Pi minus Epsilon prize, which is dirty for 314. The awardees are Clea Bergsman, Lionel Yu, Cherish Zhao, and Medina Solodiva.
Hello, I'm Frank Mountcherry, Chair of the Music Department, and I'm very pleased to present the Sue Winchell Burnett Music Prize. This is presented to Tyler Dean for his outstanding leadership in jazz ensembles and his vital role in cultivating a vibrant musical community on campus. I'm honored to present the Mary Kay Hunter Prize, and this is presented to Natalie Olayoye for her elegant and deeply researched essay, which reveals how Haitian music and voodoo traditions empowered revolutionary resistance and cultural identity. And finally, I'm pleased to present the Elliot S. Schwartz Award. This is presented to Hayden Byrne for his evocative and skillfully crafted honors composition, Suite for a Changing Climate, for 2 guitars, which explores ecological transformation through music.
Hi, Hadley Horch again from biology. I am absolutely thrilled to be able to award the Kimball Prize tonight to Ollie Evans. So the Kimball Prize is awarded to a member of the senior class who has shown the most ability and originality in the field of natural sciences, so across the natural sciences. When nominating the student for the award, biology faculty noted their outstanding ability and originality in research and coursework. The faculty also highlighted their ability to lead and impact the field in the future. And if I may sum up a glowing 3-page nomination letter from the biology department, Ollie is a bright, creative, knowledgeable, mature, outgoing, enthusiastic, and thoughtful student with a bright future as a biology researcher who is currently pursuing interesting, original, and widely appreciated honors research. Congratulations.
Good evening. I'm Manuel Diaz-Rios. I'm the chair of the neuroscience program. And this year's awardees of the Mono Neuroscience Prize, this is a prize established by former Neuro major David Muno, class of '99, recognizes excellence in research by a student majoring in neuroscience. So I first want to recognize in absentia student Emma Gibbons with her work on how the brain processes episodic memories. Congratulations, Emma. Fittingly, Emma is actually in one of all their passions, which is sports. She's actually in an official Bowdoin track and meet this weekend, so go you Bears. And now I want to recognize two outstanding students, which I had the pleasure of having in my classroom and in my labs since we were freshmen. I'll start first with Ephraim Boama with his work looking at how the neural circuits regarding the process of motor activity can be affected by Parkinson's disease. I want to say, Ephraim, I'm so proud of you, and I know you had just accepted a job at the highly prestigious Salk Institute and La Jolla Institute, and I'm so, so proud of you. You deserve that and so much more. Janowith, wow. Janowith, another outstanding young scientist with her work of how early life adversity can affect our brains as we go into adulthood. She just accepted to grad studies at Dartmouth. So I'm so proud of you, of your trajectory as well, and I congratulate you. Congrats, Paul.
Good evening. I'm Stephen Sulich, Chair of the Department of Physics Astronomy, and we have several prizes this evening. The Hall Prize is named after Edwin Hall, Bowdoin class of 1875, and probably Bowdoin's most famous physicist. He's the discoverer of the appropriately named Hall effect, which describes the properties of electrical currents in materials subject to magnetic fields. I was really hoping to explain that to you in detail tonight, but they've provided me with a whiteboard, so maybe next year. The Hall Prize goes to the best sophomore scholar in physics, and comes with a check, as well as this handsome monograph by none other than Edwin Hall himself. There are 3 recipients this year, Grace Elliott, Elliot Ewell, and Peter Harris. Grace, happy to be here. The Little Prize goes to the senior who has distinguished themselves in the field of experimental physics. This year's prize goes to Caleb McDaniels. The Case Prize goes to the senior distinguishing themselves in the field of theoretical physics. And there are 2 recipients this year, Nathan Bailey and Abby Chris. Our seniors have been exemplary learning assistants and have rendered services to the Department of Physics and Astronomy well above and beyond the expected. They received the American Association of Physics Teachers Learning Assistant Prize, which comes with a book, a year's membership in the AAPT, as well as a subscription to America's favorite magazine, Physics Today. Congratulations to everyone.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Elizabeth Pritchard, and I'm a member of the Religion Department, and it is my honor and pleasure to present the awards from the Religion Department. Our first award is the Edgar Oaks Acorn Prize, and we have 3 winners. The first is Charles Richard Vermillion. The next recipient is James Patrick Lucy. And our third winner is Ephraim Tony Tutu. The second award is the Leah Ruth Thuman Biblical Literature Prize, and that is going to Noah Morgan Saperstein. And last, the award for excellence in the study of religion goes to Senior Jonathan Gordon Lurdell.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Catherine Doge-Roth, and I'm here with my colleagues Alejandro Corrado and Carolyn Wolfenson for Romance Languages and Literatures. I'm very honored to award several prizes to some truly outstanding students this evening. On behalf of all my colleagues in Romance Languages and Literatures, I'm pleased to award our Department Prize for Excellence in Romance Languages and Literatures to the extraordinary Eleanor Beris. Ellen has been a devoted practitioner of theater while building a bridge to Francophone studies through her outstanding translation and theatrical adaptation of Gabrielle by Georges Sand that showed that issues of gender fluidity and their crossings of love have been around for a very long time. She has brought her love and expertise in Romance Languages and Literatures to her work as a dedicated multilingual Mainers coordinator and a true ambassador for Spanish and French in her local schools. Félicitations, Ellen. I'm next pleased to award the Charles H. Livingston Honors Prize in Francophone Studies to 2 outstanding students who are completing their honors theses this year, Alyssa Balmer and Rachel Scrooby. Alyssa has done incredible and ambitious and meticulous work in translating Monique Wittig's feminist experimental novel Les Guerrières from French to English. Her careful choices as a translator are born from a deep understanding of the complexities of the French language and a commitment to rendering the complexities of Wittig's radically challenging text. Her reflection on the novel and her own process of translation show her deep understanding and insight as a feminist literary critic. Rachel Scrooby is a profoundly insightful student who brings together brilliantly for analysis observations from culture, linguistics, and history, and makes excellent use of them to illuminate the works of literature and cultural movements that she analyzes. Whether she's writing her remarkable cutting-edge thesis about France's fear about the linguistic decline, or exploring the complexities of language politics in Francophone Canada, Rachel is the epitome of the engaged liberal arts student. Next, I'm pleased to award the Goodwin Francophone Studies Prize to 2 more outstanding seniors, Brendan Hill and Madeline Lincoln. Brendan pays attention to the small details in novels, poems, and plays, single words. He notices when an author insists on talking about the land as if it were the sea, And then Brendan helps make larger sense out of what we are reading. He sees how the little things connect to the big ideas. Madeline brings her extraordinary literary sensibility and attention to careful textual analysis to every class discussion and produces brilliant written work. A student of many literatures, she navigates text with ease and insight and makes us all hope for a future for her in literary studies. Sophomores and juniors that is shared by E.J. Esmes and Alexis Kim. E.J. has an extraordinary gift for literary readings that show passion, generosity, and creativity. He's a supportive, collaborative, and an active participant in the classroom. Despite his many commitments, theater, 5 classes, music lessons, E.J. always manages to shine. Alexis possesses remarkable analytical abilities with a keen eye for the political stakes of the text she studies. She shows great promise as a student of literature, and we hope that alongside her work in the sciences, she will pursue honors work next year in our department. Felicitaciones.
Everyone, I'm Alex Quadrado on the Italian side of Romance Languages and Literatures. It's my honor to present today the 2025 Dante Prize in Italian Studies for the best essay on Dante. What's really remarkable is that this year we chose 2 people to receive it, and they're both in their first year at Bowdoin. They're both in my Dante class, and they're brilliant writers, and I'm so proud of both of them. Saoirse Siobhan Burlingame and Giovanna Lucia Parnoff. Join me in congratulating. The reason why Giovanna's is bigger is because she's probably going to be an Italian major, and so now she has to read it in the original. You've already heard about Alyssa Baumer's achievement in French, but let me tell you about her excellence in Italian as well. Not only has Alyssa done impressive work in her upper class Italian courses, she's also been an exemplary LA for elementary Italian and a fixture at our Monday night Tavola Italiana at Thorn. The Raimondi Prize for the most outstanding student in Italian studies goes to Alyssa Baumer.
Representing the Hispanic Studies. The Philip Bradley Hispanic Studies Prize is awarded for 2 outstanding students in Spanish language and literature, and the prize goes to Miles Berry and Joseph Park. When you were freshmen, and now you finish reading Vargas Llosa, Cesar Vallejo, and so many important authors. The second prize goes to it's the sophomore prize in Spanish Studies, and this time it goes to Carlos Villarreal.
Johnson, here on behalf of Russian Distributing Asian Studies. It's my great pleasure today to award the first prize, which is the Prize for Excellence in Russian Language and Literature. And this prize goes to two students who both spent this semester on the windy steppe of Kazakhstan. Both returned to be tutors in our department, wonderful tutors, and both achieved the kind of proficiency in Russian language that I've only seen in PhD or higher level students. So the first, I would like to congratulate Alan Svensson. And the second is Chunwon Ko. Finally, it's my great pleasure to award our prize, the Russian Scholar Laureate. And this prize goes to a student who has achieved great distinction in the language and has also showed herself to be an incredibly perceptive and sharp reader of Russian and English texts in my literature. Sorry for that. And is, in general, just a wonderfully generous, kind person. It's been such a pleasure to have you here at Bowdoin. Pozdravляю.
Good evening, I'm Theo Green, and I'm chair of the Sociology Department. The Sociology Department is thrilled to award the Elbridge Sibley Prize in Sociology to Fiona Moore for her academic and scholastic achievements. Fiona, even though I've only had you for one semester, having read your exhaustive and painstakingly researched thesis exploring the politics of belonging before and after the pandemic at Bowdoin College, I know that this is deeply and richly deserved, so congratulations. And secondly, the Matilda White Riley Class Project Prize, which is my favorite prize to give because the projects are nominated by the professors, and so the students don't know that they have been nominated until they won the prize. So I always love the surprise on their faces when, oh my gosh. The first one goes to Caitlin Cowan in absentia for a work titled Dismantling the Patriarchy, a look at the 4B movement written for my Classics of Sociological Theory course. The second one is awarded to Elias McGinney for, and this is a long one, Borderlines and Body Minds, an explanation of the historical context of immigration policies, current pressures faced by disabled immigrants, and ways to support the community, written for Professor Jamal Gall's Immigration and the Politics of Exclusion. And finally, Whitney Pellegrino's work, an investigation of Bowdoin's efforts to recruit and retain minority students from 1987 to 1992 for Professor Ingrid Nelson's Power, Progress, in Higher Education. All outstanding works. Congratulations to both of you.
And finally, Theater and Dance. I'm Davis Robinson, Chair of Theater and Dance, and I'm pleased to award the Bowdoin Dance Group Award, which is in honor of the class of 1975, the first graduating class of Bowdoin dancers. First goes to Gabrielle Waller-Whalen. And also to Maya Lay. The award for excellence in dance goes to someone from any class who just demonstrates exceptional performance skills and commitment to excellence warranting special recognition, Sanaya Ridley. If you haven't seen the dance concert yet, you have one more chance to see these people tomorrow night. So even if it's sold out, just show up, we'll get you. Outstanding contributions to theater and dance. We have two, one from Dance Vilma Valera. And the wonderful Osana Hangret. That award, by the way, is for people who have done such wonderful work through all 4 years to lift the spirits of the students, the staff, and the faculty. We now have the Moody Award, which goes to two students, Sydney, Nicole Starks, the fabulous Sydney, who is here in absentia, which means she's not here, right? So Sydney. But someone who has been here for 4 years, and this is again given to students who have done an amazing job contributing to the technical theater that helps make our magic happen on stage in a spirit of good humor. Chris Jung. The Abraham Goldberg Prize, which is given for best direction or design to a senior in absentia, the fabulous Mira Pickus for and her work for all 4 years. And last but not least, you've seen her here before, Ella Byrath, who has done, 4 shows this semester besides the one you wrote, several that she starred in, and her fabulous role last fall as the baker's wife in Into the Woods. Thank you, Ella, for 4 years of fabulous work.
Congratulations again to our students, to the faculty and staff who have mentored and supported them throughout their time at Bowdoin. The collective level of achievement that we are celebrating today is really inspiring. I hope that you've noted the range of interests, the curiosities and methodological approaches reflected in the work we're honoring here, work that is a testament to the imagination and determination of these students. I'm just thrilled to be here tonight with all of you to recognize them. More awards and prizes, some of which are dependent on final grades and theses, will be listed in the full commencement program. I also wanted to say a special thank you to Mackenzie O'Connor, who has magically disappeared from the last time I looked, for all of the work that she program, I now invite student performers from Bowdoin's a cappella, chamber choir, and chorus to lead the audience in Raise Songs to Bowdoin, accompanied by Skylar Home. I invite you to stand if you're able. The lyrics are printed on the back of the program.